again. I requested Vivek uncle that I want to introduce this person because he's very dear to my heart. He's one of the first uncle I met when I came to Minnesota. Chandra uncle, it's your turn. I really wanted to introduce you. I have learned so much from Chandra uncle over the years. I learned how to do puja, he has so much knowledge and he always spreads. He tells jokes, and you talk to him about any topic and he knows what to say. So Chandra uncle, please join us. One sec.
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Gurudev, Jai Guru Ma, and Jai all my friends. Geeta presents a dynamic picture of spiritual life. It does not advocate a passive withdrawal from the world in search of peace or perfection. Rather, it beckons the soul of a person to visit the battle of life heroically in order to attain victory in the form of self-realization. That's it. The very setting of the Gita presents a symbolic picture of life's incessant battle. The soul must face the contending forces of light and darkness, virtue and vice in the battlefield of life. Being guided by the intuitive vision represented by our Lord Krishna, the soul is led to join the forces of light in order to destroy the forces of darkness and attain victory in the form of self-realization, which is the ultimate goal. The goal is one. The method of attaining it varies within different temperaments of human beings. There are 4 different paths very well known for that. Karma Yoga, the realization of divinity through selfless service and duty. Duty should be righteous. Bhakti Yoga, the realization of divinity through devotion and love of God. Raj Yoga, realization of divinity through control of mind. Jnana Yoga, realization of divinity through knowledge. The main theme of Bhagavad Gita is Karma Yoga. And verse 47 of chapter 2, which says, Karmanyevadhikarasya ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phal hetur bhurma te sango asu karmani. Action is your duty, righteous duty. Reward not thy concern. You should never engage in action for the sake of reward, nor should you long for inaction. In general, people are accustomed to living with desire, and if this desire is not there, life seems empty. It seems impossible to live without any expectation before you. And yet, at the same time, Gita hammers that you should have no desire and no expectation. This contradiction creates a lot of confusion and requires a subtle study of Gita. As we continue our study, it becomes clear that contradiction is not there. What Gita wants you to do is not to become attached to the fruit of action. When you desire something, You have already decided in your mind that is what I'm going to get, and when I get that, I'll be very happy. This attachment to the fruit is what causes great difficulty. Kalidas, in one of his poems, presents this matter with picturesque imagery. There's a lotus in a lake. In that lotus, there is a bee, enjoying the nectar of the lotus and relaxing. Does not realize that the sun is about to set, and with the setting of sun, this lotus will close. And that's what happened. Now, what are the thoughts going through the mind of that bee which has been trapped in lotus? She is thinking, Ratri Gamishyati Bhavishyati Suprabhatam. रात बीतेगी, सुबह होगी, सुबह होगी, सूरज निकलेगा, सूरज निकलने के साथ साथ ये फूल फिर खुलेगा. Lost in that mind all the time, he is planning for the next day. And at that moment, an elephant comes by, stepping on that lotus, crushing the lotus, and along with the bee. So you see, we are all in that kind of situation. We are thinking, oh, we'll do this tomorrow, we'll do that next. If this happens, that happens. We don't know the life is so short that it can finish any moment. Kabira, in one of his doha, says, okay, what does he say? Let me think. What's that? Okay, that is one. काल करे सो आज कर, आज करे सो अब, पल में परला होएगा, फिर करेगा कब. You tell the young man and he says, hey, this is for you old people, not for the young people like us. We got a lot to live. But Kabira is saying, पानी केरा बुदबुदा आसमानस की जात, देखत ही छिप जाएगा ज्यों तारा प्रभात. That's what he's saying. We are like a soap, bubble of soap, waiting to burst any moment, and yet we keep planning all the future. So try to make the best of it. Present is what your time is available to you. Future is a mystery. Past is history. Present is hard cash. Utilize it properly. That's what the message is. That be careful. Life is very ephemeral and it can finish any moment. So do what you have to do. And your goal should be always self-realization. So you don't delay for that and do that. The word of expectation is fraught with misery. The idea that your expectation should be fulfilled the way you have expected is irrational. How can a world which cannot be understood by one human being be regulated by one person's interest? There is a predicament of expectation. To give you a very simple illustration, there was this villager who had two daughters. One was married to a farmer and the other one was married to a farmer and the other one to a potter. So potter is, who makes all the pots and does it. After some time, he visited them, and first day he stayed at potter's family and found them very happy. And when departing, he asked the daughter, what should I do for you? She said, well, my husband has made a lot of these pots, so pray to God next few days to be very sunny, so our pots will dry and we'll be okay. He said, okay, so will I pray. Next, he stayed with the farmer's daughter, and while departing, asked her the same question. And what did that say? Oh boy, sowed a lot of seeds and all that. He has worked hard, plowed the whole field. And now what we want is next few days of rain, so this will happen. Otherwise, we'll go poor and we'll be losing a lot of money. So now that guy has a predicament. What should he do? Think about it. Therefore, you must understand the predicament of human expectation. It's natural to expect. If you do not expect, life will be empty. But along with that expectation, there must be a sense of surrender to God, knowing that after all, it is the divine plan that is much more befitting for you than your own plan. So, in practical life, you expect and you work wholeheartedly for what you expect. But what you do not do is become attached to the fruit of action. When the fruit of action is determined by your mind, you should work for it, but deep within your heart, do not become attached to it. If the fruit of action as you have envisioned does not result, let your mind relax, understanding in advance that the fruit may not come, avoid great frustration. There are 5 factors, as mentioned in Gita, in action, and they are field. So everything that you do, there has to be a field. For a farmer, his field is field. For a surgeon, his operation theater is field. For a teacher, his classroom is field. So the field has to be there. Number 2, the actor has to be there, somebody to do the job. So number 3, you have to have the tools for the job. Number 4, all this happen if nobody is trying anything, nothing will happen. So you need everybody to try, and that's cheshta, effort. With all those efforts, there have to be there. And the last of all, deva, divine, divinity and providence factor, which we don't control. And suppose a operation theater surgeon does the surgery and everything else, all 4 things have been met. Now, 5th thing is the providence, whether the patient will live or not. That is divine factor. Same way, farmer has done everything, and farm is blooming everything, and then blizzard destroys it, and things happen. So that's a divine factor again. You didn't expect that. So all those things have to be taken care of. So Karma Yoga is there. Time is flying you by. You do the best to attain your self-realization or enlightenment. And that is, time is running by. Don't waste it. Act, act in the living present, strength within and God overhead. Good night. Thank you.